So hello and welcome to the live stream. I hope you can all hear me. Welcome to the live stream. Could you confirm that you can hear me, please? Anyone maybe in the chat? And if the sound works as well, that would be great. I think sometimes there's a bit of a lag or a delay in when I start to talk and read your messages. But I'll just wait until the first person writes that you can hear me. Well, don't know, but you should be hearing me. So, yes, perfect. Thank you. So there's a bit of a delay here. But yeah, what a day for Cardano holders, for Cardano traders, investors. I mean, it's just amazing. I just want to go back to the weekly, just show you how this looks like now, because it's just amazing. I mean, this is basically this is the whole chart, isn't it? So we see that clear uptrend from back then, from the start to where we are now. It's just amazing, I think. However, we had that very long period of the bear market. Looks actually like a massive cup and handle, actually. And, I did a video on that before, that it really just looks like a massive cup and handle, where you have basically the cup shape here and then the handle forming here, and it just goes through the roof. Where when you look at the shorter term, you could even say that is just a cup and handle. I think it looks better on the daily, but that whole thing basically looks like a whole cup and handle, which if you've been following my channel, you probably know that it's just a bearish pattern where, you've got a lot of optimism in the beginning, then you've got the shakeout, a long period of where nothing happens, and then slowly people are getting in, the trend picks up again, correction, but then there's another boost to the upside, and that's where we are at the moment. So looks really amazing. I mean, just reading some of the messages. But yeah, Cardano just looking awesome. Just before the $3 mark, pretty much now. $3 mark here, the top line here that you can see. You can also see the support and resistance lines here. I've now changed the colors a little bit. So basically the yellow ones are the weekly support and resistance levels. So for me, they are the main ones. Then these slightly blue ones are on the daily chart. And then the gray ones are the on the 4-hour chart. Don't want to use any more because this already is nearly getting a bit too much, but I just want to have that overview and avoid that I have to draw them all the time again. So that's the weekly. Let's take a look at what's actually happening at the moment. Now, today we are just really before, potentially going through $3. Now, I'm not saying this is happening today because we potentially see a smaller green candle here, which is actually picking up at the moment. But guys, we are really only like 2% away or 2.5% away from a new all-time high. So this is really looking brilliant. I didn't expect that this would happen that fast today, but it just shows how unpredictable markets are, and especially like the Cardano, generally the crypto market. I mean, things can change here from one day to another. It's just crazy. And the thing is, if you do like an analysis on one crypto, but if Bitcoin does something completely different, this can throw a whole, technical analysis out of the window. But it doesn't matter. It's looking good at the moment. Everybody's like happy. Thanks for all the viewers. We've got 30 at the moment. I'm sure there'll be more. There'll always be more towards the further we carry on. 33 now. Welcome everyone to the live stream. And yeah, today I thought I'd just do a live stream just to celebrate a little bit what's been going on, because we all thought we're going down. Now at the moment it's looking like extremely bullish again. And we can see that if we just zoom out a little bit, we can just see that pattern here forming. And it's really like, I mean, for me, sometimes it really looks like the markets are manipulated, but it's really just that same move that you saw here, 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 and here. And you can really just cut this in half if you see where my mouse is at the moment. So we just cut that in half here, and you just take that thing and you put it here, and you get a very similar result. It's quite funny actually. And yeah, so we are currently basically, if we just say, well, we just replicate what we had here and we put it here, which really looks very similar, then we're currently here at this green sort of green candle to the upside, and if we replicate it, it would mean that we need to land somewhere above this top, and that's needed. We really need to make a new high in order to remain in this uptrend. We don't want to make a lower high now. We really want to make a higher high, which means that we need to go through the $3, or at least, you know, we need to get above 292. That would be really good. That would just show that we still carry on with this uptrend. But what today has shown, guys, is that Cardano is very strong, that the buyers are very strong, that Cardano hasn't really lost a lot of momentum. At least it doesn't look like that at the moment. So, I mean, we see at the moment that the candles are getting a bit smaller, but actually the last three were getting bigger and bigger. We've seen here, and that's what I always talk about, just price action, understanding price action, that these candles were getting smaller and smaller. So these sellers were getting less and less strong, and we could see that it actually bounced off this 245 level here that acted as support and resistance level before. And now we are forming this nice round recovery here. Let me just take a look at your messages, guys, so I can answer some of them if you have any questions or anything. So we now have 50 viewers. Thanks a lot. Very, very welcome that you all joined. And bear in mind, if you watch this video as a basically a replay or the recording, then I sometimes get it that people watch the recording and think it's live, but it might actually be that if you join later, that you don't actually see the really the live stream. It could be that you just watch the recording, which I just had to be a bit spontaneous today. I couldn't really give a lot of notice for this live stream, but yeah, I just thought we'll celebrate a bit where we are today, because we're all feeling better today, I think. I mean, I did various videos now in the last few days where I said even that drop here, even though I was a bit concerned that Bitcoin here is losing momentum because we brought out to the downside of this channel or ascending wedge. Some people call it a channel. I still call it an ascending wedge because I think it is sort of you know, converging, even though it's not really getting close to each other very quickly here. But at some point there will be an apex, whereas a ascending wedge is rather bearish actually. However, a channel, it would just be a trend continuation. But yeah, I still think it's an ascending wedge. But at the moment, it just shows that on the daily as well, we've broken out of that channel. Now today would, at least where we are now, it wouldn't really bring us back in. What this could just be, from a bearish point of view, this could just be a retest of that former support level, now a resistance level. And if we fail that, if we don't get back in, then that could be not that good for Bitcoin. And on the other hand, it could also be not that good for Cardano. Just want to mention that possible scenario, because we have observed that Bitcoin has lost momentum here. You can see it on the RSI, just a little bit of losing momentum here on the daily RSI. Also called a bearish divergence, because while you have the price going up, actually you lose momentum. Now at the moment, I mean, we were quite a long time, or actually at this edge of the overbought territory, so it's not dramatic, but it's just something we need to be aware of. Of course, Bitcoin can surprise us all the time, and it has done so very often, but I find it just exciting to follow these prices. And as you know, I'm actually a long-term holder, so I don't really want to sell any of my ADA. How I would invest $1,000, I assume, right now? Well, I would probably, to be honest, for me personally, if I just had $1,000 and would start, I would probably not invest in Bitcoin, to be honest, because if I have $1,000 and I want most out of it, I'll probably invest in some of the higher potential cryptos like Cardano, which still I think has a lot of potential, even for me buying at 285 now, because I look long term. So, you know, even if I invested $1,000 now, I would look long term, and I would think, you know, what could it be like in 5 years or so? And then I see it at around $20 to $30, to be honest. So yeah, ADA, definitely ADA. I would probably also put something in some money in VeChain, which I find has great potential. They're constantly adding new partners. And if we just have a look here on CoinMarketCap, because that question just came up, how to invest 1,000, or how would I invest 1,000? So I probably would put 500 probably in ADA, and then I would probably put I don't know, maybe 100 in XRP, maybe 100 in VeChain, maybe 100 in ICP, which I find is a great project. And then there's really only two more I could Did I say VeChain? I think I said VeChain already. I would probably pick Quant and maybe Aave. But there are many good projects. But I would certainly put most of it probably in Cardano because it's my biggest holding at the moment anyway. So it's just for me like the most real one, the most, because it's just, it just has that use case and it's top 3, and it might flip Ethereum one day. I know that's a bold statement, but it might do. I know many of you guys believe that. Some other people might not, but it could, because it's just cheaper, it's faster. Cardano price end of the year. Well, it all depends when the bull market ends. I mean, there are people now who think there might not be a radical bear market as we've seen before, and that might be true just because many more institutions are now involved. Banks, and there are ETFs, there are funds and stuff like that for cryptos and Bitcoin. But generally, I think if we assume that the bull market will continue until the end of the year, which I still am a believer of, even though people talking about losing momentum, and I've talked about this myself on this channel, but I think, and there will always be corrections along the way, so it is always a bumpy ride. It could be we go down here and then go up, and even if we drop to 35,000 again, it doesn't mean that the bull market is over. So I still think end of the year the bull market, and I still think that Bitcoin should at least get to 100,000. So if I then think, right, that's pretty much a 2x from here, so ADA should certainly 2x as well, maybe even more, but certainly 4.5 to $5 from a really realistic point of view from me. $5 I think should be absolutely achievable end of the year. And even, if Bitcoin goes higher, maybe 200K, that could all be possible. It's all a valid scenario in a bull market this year, based on the stock to flow model. Then Cardano could also hit, for a short period at least, $10, I think. Good evening, everybody who's been joining. I know you're all in different time zones, so what's evening here could be whatever, morning for you, middle of the night. So where are you guys all from? Greece. I saw someone from Florida earlier. Welcome. So Crocus says $5 to $7 end of the year. Not sure how the 12th will play out. Yeah, it's always difficult. I mean, you can see clearly, people yesterday assumed that because of the Cardano 360 update, prices would go up yesterday, but they actually go up today. And if too many people think something will happen, like with when Cardano was listed in Japan, just on Wednesday this week, people thought on that day everybody would just rush in Japan and buy ADA, but actually you can see, I don't know if that price increase today is just related to that in any way or whatever, but it certainly might have been a catalyst. But nevertheless, things often don't really, if everybody assumes it will happen, it often doesn't. And oftentimes it's this, sell the news, what is it? Buy the rumor, sell the news. So what that means is you basically should buy when the news come out, and you should sell when it actually happens, just because there is so much anticipation. And that's exactly what we saw at the last Cardano hard fork on the 1st of March, where we had something similar, where we had a lot of rumors, and then when it actually happened on the 1st of March here, we saw the prices drop, right? And there was a long sideways move until May. So it took various months for us to finally get to the all-time high back then. So it's just a classical example, which makes me think this time, could it be similar? Could we go to the 12th of September and then everybody thinks from the 12th prices will go up even further, but actually some people cash out. But for any long-term holder like me, that is not a problem, because I'm buying at 250, I'm buying at 270, I'm buying at 280. I'm always a bit careful when it gets into all-time high territory, but as soon as we have established new support levels and everything, because I buy dollar cost averaging, I find that a really good way of doing it. Always try to capture the dips, but still I try to just buy every week a little bit. So again, welcome to everyone. Switzerland, Los Angeles, Romania, UK, Czechia, Netherlands, Auckland, wow, Cuba, Serbia. Wow, welcome everyone. A really international community here. I also need to thank all of you. If I don't know how many of you are subscribers, I guess most of you, but really it's just overwhelming. All these messages, all these comments, all these likes, and the channel is just blowing up. I can just say thank you. Cardano community is a great community, honestly. I mean, I had a couple of other YouTube channels in the past, or I still have other YouTube channels, but this one is the main one now, and it's really just blowing up. Just the acceleration of this is just impressive. And are you getting involved in any of the projects launching on Cardano? Nigel is asking. Well, in how far involved, but I talked about some of these projects on my channel. Talked about Flano Swap. I talked about Ergo. Talked about Meld. I talked about the Ray network. I talked about Ockham, which they also referred to yesterday in Cardano 360. So various decentralized exchanges, launch pads. Yeah, I talk about these on my channel as well. To be fair, since we've hit the all-time high, I've most of the time actually done just technical analysis and provided some comments about price moves and tried to make sense about what is happening with the price, and people seem to love that content. But this channel actually started as a Cardano news channel, and I wanna bring in some more news as well in the future, not just do charts. But what I did say also is that I'd start the other channel where I teach a little bit of technical analysis, because I've got quite a bit of experience. I've done many years of trading of stocks and shares, really day trading as well. But now I'm in a full-time job, so I had to stop that. But it was really valuable, and yeah, I've learned a lot. So I just want to share that on another channel, because people always ask, can you actually teach it? So yeah, but again, everyone, welcome everybody who's just joined. 95 people now watching. That's fantastic. Joe is asking, looking for a dump come September time. I mean, to be honest, there will always be corrections. You can see it here. I mean, only look at this. This is when all of this main higher, rapidly increasing trend actually started on the 10th of August. And since then, we had so many. I mean, call it dump or call it just a correction, but here we had 10%, and that's totally normal. But this is just what happens. Here we had 15%. I think here we had another 10% or 8%. And just recently now, just a couple of days ago, we had another 15%. So I think I actually showed this in one of my videos where I said, look, this looks very similar. And here we had 15%. So if we assume we have 15% now, we could go up again. So it just repeats itself. So just assume in a few days or so, it will probably go down again. And these are just the dips that people tend to buy if they either do trading or when they do dollar cost averaging, as I do. I always try to buy at lower prices. It's always hard to get, buy straight at the dip, but if you know how to read a chart, it's easier. That's what I try to do, just buying the dip but dollar cost averaging. I don't sell, so I don't buy low and high, try to sell high because it takes a lot of time. I really just buy when I see a dip and then hold for 5 years. So I don't have a Telegram group, at least not yet, because all of that takes more time as well. At the moment, I'm just building this YouTube channel. And I want to have probably a Telegram group in the future or a membership here on YouTube, but that will be in the future because I need to have more time. I think I might consider go full-time YouTube or full-time trading in YouTube or whatever, just full-time online business. I've got another online business as well. And I guess in a few months or so, or probably early next year, I might go full-time. But along the way, at some point, I will, maybe not that far away, I will introduce a Telegram group because it's always dangerous as well to just keep the community on one, let's say on one platform, because just imagine we're building this community here, all of us, and by the way, it's just great how you're always commenting, but it's just like a community, and then suddenly the account gets hacked or something, and then it's all gone. So it's actually important to have maybe a Telegram group or Instagram as well. So yeah, I'm gonna do that in the near future. It's still a very new channel, remember that, because I only started like a couple of months ago, or maybe 3 months ago, and so Namek is asking what I think of ADA. Well, I think it's great. It's my biggest holding. ADA is my favorite crypto. What else? Japan will push the price. Yeah, maybe that could now be one of the catalysts that's actually pushing the price at the moment. Yeah. I want to meet you when you're free. Well, I'm never free, unfortunately, not at the moment. Just having two YouTube. I've got actually two YouTube channels. I'm gonna build a third one now with the teaching of TA, and I have a full-time job, so it's all a bit tricky at the moment. Yeah, I know some of you guys make comments about the darker background now. I think that is actually better. I've always, for some reason, used the other background here, the day theme, but this is the darker theme, and many people seem to like it. To be honest, when looking at the screen like that all day or so, this is really better for the eyes as well, especially when maybe have a darker room as well, or darker environment. What I think about Algorand, I still like Algorand. I think more about the fundamental things. I still think it has a lot of potential. I know it's dropped recently. Not actually sure how it's looking today, but yeah, I've bought Algorand. I bought a little bit not that long ago. I think when I did the last video, actually going up above $1 again, which is great. I think it will break out at some point. I said before the tokenomics aren't great, but I think there's something happening in October that will deal with some of that tokenomics issue. To be honest, I can't be that much in the detail with all the cryptos I've invested in. In Cardano, I really want to know what's going on all day, but with others, I just can't get involved in that level of detail just purely because of time. But with this YouTube channel, you guys can all help me to do this more like towards full time. So it's just absolutely encouraging, all the comments and everything. So thanks again very much. What's my job? Someone's asking. Well, I'm actually managing a manufacturing department with 130 people. So it's a very demanding full-time job, probably 10 hours a day, just doing that. And then in my lunch break, I do these update videos because I just love Cardano. And yeah, so that's my job. Very stressful job. I would certainly prefer being a full-time trader or investor or YouTuber. When do you think Cardano can do the next? You mean probably when it will hit the next resistance? I think it's hitting one now probably, even though there isn't really like the 285 here. So maybe we can go to the 1 hour chart. Maybe we'll see a little bit more there. So I mean, what really looks, what could be forming here is a little bit something like a bull flag, which would be great, because a bull flag like that one, well, was it one potentially, where you have that that post of the flag, and then you have a channel. That is definitely has been now for the last few weeks really been a good sign when that happened. And we also saw, so that's a bull flag here. You go up, you have these candles actually like a channel going down here, and that is called a bull flag. And then after that, there's a breakout to the upside. So it's one not very reliable, but it is a sort of reliable pattern that more than not breaks to the upside, or it's just a bull flag does break to the upside generally. Not all the time, of course, but maybe like 60-70%. And what we could also potentially see here is something like a cup and handle, where you have just that pattern here of a cup. Now maybe a small consolidation, like in a round shape as well. Recovery, and then when you break above this level here, like above the 285, that could be another boost. But it depends on how that will now develop. If we get something here like really, something like a channel, or maybe like a triangle, like that, just a triangle, that could really be a really bullish sign, where in the past we've seen that, that Cardano really broke to the upside. So that could be something, don't know what I'm doing here. It could be something that could be breaking to the upside. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got my keyboard here connected, but it doesn't do what I want to do. Right, sorry. So triangle, potentially. No idea. We need to see. But this is then a bullish pennant. So price action consolidates. Price going up. Some people might be selling. Still a lot of buyers. A little bit of uncertainty, but then price is going up. Just need to catch up on some of the messages here. Just reading some of your. How do you find the newest altcoin projects? Would not be part of an initial pump. Yeah, there are a few sites where you can actually one is CoinList, I think I used in the past, CoinList, where you can actually register and then participate in a drop in a public coin offering. And if you basically join a queue, but obviously you need to be aware what kind of project it is. It could be rubbish as well, but most of them that are listed on CoinList or get listed are actually quite good. Then if you're lucky, you can grab some, but more of the time, I mean, I tried it a few times, never was lucky, because there's always a queue with like 250,000 people. So you need to be a bit lucky. I always FOMO in and then Bitcoin dips. Yeah, that's why I'm just dollar cost averaging, Malik. I'm just dollar cost averaging because I had, to be honest, many years in the past I had FOMO as well, and I lost some money like in the in 2017. Well, not much, but I got in too late. But I learned from that, and then I started to buy more in the bear market, which was a really good decision. Is 5, so someone's asked, sorry, Bathin, I think, is asking, is 5 years your actual time frame to sell, or are you just saying you take long-term positions no matter what? I think 5 years is sort of my frame that I plan for, and maybe I will even hold it longer. But what like the crypto history has shown, that if you bought really one of the main projects like 5 years ago, I mean that is right, like the hodling 5 years. That's sort of the time frame for me that can really make someone financially free, and not only financially free, but really really wealthy, right? Because this is the potential of this crypto market is just immense. I think people make the mistake very often. You buy and then you sell again, you make a bit of profit, but to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, if you make maybe $500 profit, yeah, you can buy something from it, but then what's then, you know? And even if you make money with it now and then you have cash, what do you do with the cash? Yeah, you can spend it again on things, but actually, so my goal is really to build wealth with crypto, and I think that's for most of the people the goal. So I will definitely 5 years. I said I will hold it no matter what. But 5 years, I mean, maybe it will even be longer, because the beautiful thing with ADA is you can stake it, so you actually earn passive income if you accumulate more. So people who are just trading can't really participate in that. Someone put 70,000 euros in there. Sorry, was that in ADA, Malik? When will ADA find next resistance? Well, it's found its next resistance here now, because we can see the first red candles coming here. And that's totally normal. I mean, you can see that here every time you have just a little bit of a consolidation, but you can see at the moment the sellers are very weak. Yeah, you can see that here, that you have not very large candles, right? So the body basically is pretty much in the middle of the whole candle, because every candle, as you probably know, consists of the lower wick, the upper wick, and then the body. So there was this variation in price in that hour. Have you heard about Nervous Network? Yes, I think I spoke about Nervous in a video. Can't remember actually. But Nervous Network, yeah, I remember there was something really good and interesting. Was the Cardano bonus giveaway a scam? Yes, every Cardano, Neville, yeah, every Cardano giveaway is a scam. There is no Cardano giveaway. I can't read all the messages. I'm sorry, it's just going too fast. But let's see. 350 next target. Yeah, I think it's not. I mean, I said in the video this week that, you know, even while we saw that drop, that it's still a possibility that we get above the $3 this week, and this just shows what's possible. I think it's just in crypto, everything's possible, and because it's also so unpredictable sometimes, that's why I decided just to hodl and hold long term, because sometimes you can't if you don't hold long term, you just miss out on these moves, I think. And sometimes there could be even that boost, which takes us maybe to $4, and we might never see like 250 again, which I don't think will happen, to be honest, but it could be. So that's why I'm just, whatever I buy now for these prices, I don't want to sell. Yeah, the thing is, I hope it goes down. Someone says, yeah. I mean, for every long-term holder, it's actually good if it goes down, because at least temporarily, because then you can just buy more and accumulate more. Yeah, dollar cost average. Ernesto, I agree. Always nice. Another good point, Ernesto. Yes, if you only have 1,000, don't put that entire bag in. Well, if you have 1,000 to invest, that's a good point. I wouldn't buy, I wouldn't spend that initially. I would just maybe split it again in several batches, and then dollar cost average. Yes, good point. Just reading some of the messages, guys. Thanks for everybody who's joined, by the way. 160 viewers. That's really a lot for a live stream on a Friday evening, UK time here. When do you think it will reach $10? A difficult question. No idea. But $10, I mean, I think it's still realistic, $10 this year. I think it's, well, optimistic. But for that, I think Bitcoin needs to be around 200,000, which I think is also possible, but it's probably like towards the end of the bull market. And it's quite a lot, actually. Can ADA go back to 250? Certainly it could, yes. Because you know, 250 we were just like today. So that just can always happen. Could Cardano have an ETF? Possibly. I'm not following these ETF. I know that in the USA, I think there have been various requests for Bitcoin ETFs and so on, or crypto ETFs, but they are not being approved, I think. But I'm not following that very closely. But surely Cardano could be in an ETF at some point. Have you had a chance to look at ADAX? Yeah, heard about ADAX. I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance yet. I look into some of these things on the weekend. Because here in the UK we've got a long weekend. Monday is a bank holiday, so I've got a bit more time. Thanks, Harry. Yes, hit the like button. I'd like to see what Bitcoin is actually doing. I haven't really had a closer look at Bitcoin today. But yeah, nothing exciting, to be honest. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. Just shows you how quickly things can change, isn't it? I mean, we were really trading completely sideways here, completely sideways, and then suddenly you see that pump. Now you can see that this channel is just a valid trend line. So this white channel, or this white wedge, ascending wedge, yeah. So these support levels here and resistance levels, and you can just see that it's valid, because now we've actually, the price tried to break into this channel again, but you can clearly see that there is resistance. That there is resistance here. So we've really traded in this sideways move now, or channel here, for various hours now. Then there was a breakout to the upside, and now we're just trading just below this channel. And whenever that happens, from my experience, when you see these moves towards a resistance line and the price is not getting away from it anymore, because there was a rejection here, you can clearly see that there was a rejection. We were even inside, and you can see that at this upper wick, but it was rejected, closed again. That candle closed below, that candle closed below as well, that candle as well, even two red candles here, but not the sellers are not very strong. You can clearly see that. It's always important to understand that, it's always important, I think, to understand what the sellers and buyers are doing, and you can learn to interpret these candles. So here clearly the buyers aren't very strong, the sellers aren't very strong, but the buyers, you can still see the green candles and the continuous effort to push the price higher. But there's actually not that so much of a clear rejection of this price level. So when then the price really keeps very close to that level, and maybe there will be a last attempt to get away from it from the sellers, but then they can't, and it gets to it, that could really is a really bullish move. So whenever you see just before a resistance line or just below a resistance line, this price really getting very close for a longer period, that could really indicate a break to the upside. So doesn't look that bad actually. Wendy is asking, could crypto replace the dollar? I don't think so. Crypto won't replace the dollar. I don't think so, no. There will certainly be digital currencies, probably like a digital dollar, because every country is pretty much working on a digital currency for their own country. But no, don't think that cryptos will, at least not in the short term, replace any currency. There will be additional currencies, you know that Bitcoin is sort of an additional currency now in El Salvador. I don't know if that's actually happened yet. I think it will happen in September. EZ is saying Cardano ETF approved. Well, is that approved actually? Hello to Toronto. When selling a pump, do you sell 100%? Nah, I think I will never, or I will not sell 100%. I always, when I'm selling, because I've got a long-term holding portfolio that I actually don't want to touch. I'm not touching it, so I'm staking it and everything. Then I've got a smaller trading portfolio, but when I sell there, I always try to sell only like 25%, and then another batch, maybe a few days later, and another batch, because in case, especially with crypto, in case prices go up higher and I've sold everything, that's then when the FOMO can kick in. So I always try to, just imagine I had bought here and the price would now be here. Maybe I would sell something, but I wouldn't sell it all. So I would just sell maybe like 25%. But yeah, that's what has worked for me, because it avoids any FOMO. Because if prices go down, then I can buy back in again. But if prices go up, I can at least participate again on these price moves. Which exchanges and wallets I use? Well, I'm using for ADA staking, I'm using, one second. I'm using for staking, I'm using Yoroi wallet, my ADA coin staked on Yoroi, but I use it together with my Trezor hardware wallet. So I'm using Trezor for my ADA. And these are basically the main wallets that I use. And exchanges, sometimes Coinbase, sometimes Binance, sometimes Kraken. They are like the three main exchanges that I use. I also sometimes use eToro, but it's not that great for crypto. Someone else from Toronto, Louisiana, hello. How often do I stream? Well, I've started streaming actually. I mean, this is still a new channel. So Linus, I started streaming, I think last Sunday, just a week ago. And I've done a stream on Sunday, a stream on Monday, I think. And maybe one on Tuesday, I can't even remember. But I try to do it, here at around this time normally, because that's after work for me. And I think Fridays work good for me, but I haven't really established really when it will really work for me in the longer term. But I like these live streams, I like the interaction. It's a great community, so I'm really happy to take time out of my day to do it. But certainly, yeah, I think maybe 2 to 3 times a week, certainly on days like this where something very exciting is happening. So, but yeah, and because I work full time, I've got family and everything, it's really hard to plan that sometimes. So they're often spontaneous, but I'll try to be more predictable in the future. If VeChain could hit $1 by 2022, I'm not sure if by 2022, but VeChain has a lot of potential. a lot of potential. It could possibly, but I think next year there might be a bear market anyway. So I don't think it will happen this year. Not like a. It would nearly be like a 10x. Not quite, maybe like 8x, but that would be a bit too much, I think, for VeChain. For this year at least. So yeah, thanks for everyone commenting, really. So Lucas asks how many ADA I have. Well, I've got, I think around, not 100% sure, but around 30,000 ADA. I started buying not December, I started buying January 2020. That's when the prices were really low. And today I wish I would have bought more. But I've just kept going slowly in the beginning. But then as this became more serious, I bought more. But then the prices were already higher, so yeah. Yeah, thanks for everyone. Yeah, James, thanks for joining. What's my profession? I said before, I actually work as manufacturing manager here in the UK, responsible for 130 people. Quite stressful, but long day of work, and then I do these videos, so it's really hard work at the moment, but I really like doing these. I really love to build this community, and again, thanks for everybody who's part of this community. And the Cardano community in total is great anyway. So yeah, VeChain, yeah, manipulated, yeah. I mean, they are certainly very much backed by the Chinese government, which is certainly a sort of a risk. But what I really like about it is, yeah, actually I like that as well, because there is, one of the main, the most important sort of governments or countries is actually backing this cryptocurrency. And I really like they have they have a lot of partnerships. I mean, like Louis Vuitton. I mean, they work together with various pharmaceutical companies as well. It's just their traceability and supply chain, which I think will be important in the future. And it's just the use case together with the fact that they, yeah, sort of are backed by the Chinese government, at least at the moment. But yeah, I think it can change the world. VeChain can. Someone's asking when. Ronbo is asking when ADA is going sideways. That a sign of bull or bear? Here at the moment, you mean? I guess. Yeah, it's a bit. The thing is, you need to understand: are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? At the moment, I mean, on the short time frame, we're really sort of back up again. I mean, you always have in these graphs longer term trends, but within these longer term trends, you also have shorter term, you could say, trends, shorter term consolidations. But if you have a pump like that, that's where you need to learn and understand chart patterns. And again, they are never guaranteed to work out. But what this looks like is basically that flagpole here, and then a symmetrical triangle. If that is really what is forming, it could be. That's what happened the last few times. If you have something like this potential triangle, or even a channel, it could also be a channel, then that is potentially a bullish move. But the thing is, you never really know. So that's bullish, and then there could be a breakout to the upside. That most of the time, more often than not, that works out like that in a bull market in which we are. But you never really know until the breakout happened. But if you understand, whoops, 1 second. If you understand what kind of pattern that is, if it's a channel, for example, then you can see there's always two scenarios, always. So that could go down and could go up. But as a trader, for example, if you see that, because you never know what happens, but if you see that, for example, on the 1 hour chart, there is a candle going through this to the upside, and then maybe it goes back again, and it doesn't go back into the triangle again, but it gets bounced off again, then just see if I can draw something here. So if you something like that, breakout here, go down again, and then get rejected there, that's certainly when most traders would open a long position, because then you're pretty much certain that it won't go back down again anymore. And it works the other way as well. But most of the time, you know, if you have these patterns here, for example, the last few times that happened here with ADA in the uptrend, in the current uptrend, that was a very bullish sign. Just catching up on some of the messages. When you are silent, I hear some sound. I was really. I have a lot of good for you. Thanks everyone. I'm staking my ADA with Yoroi. Yes. Should. So thanks again for your comments. What's your goal with crypto? Yes, economic, certainly wealth, getting, you know, not spending my money on stuff like expensive stuff which is just losing value, but investing in something which is just appreciating in value. I mean, I think, you know, just only investing in ADA would be a bit risky, or just only investing in crypto in general would be a bit risky. So I also invest in stocks and shares and so on, but crypto is getting more and more important for me. Which pool do I use? I invest in, I use at the moment the Ray network, where you get free X-ray tokens as well. Made a video on that. There's not a lot of people talking about that on YouTube, and I think the reason is because most big YouTubers have their own stake pool, and then they make marketing for their own stake pool and talk about their own stake pools, but they don't talk about the good stake pools where you can actually earn some extra tokens. So I stake with Ray Network. They have 3 stake pools, and you can stake through Yoroi, for example, and you get basically your 5% ADA rewards. I think it's around 5% per epoch, and you can get airdropped free X-ray tokens, which you can then use on the Ray network as soon as it will be launched and goes live later this year. So Rodrigo's asking a course how to trade. Well, as I said, I'm actually not a trader. I did trading in the past, and what I've actually said, I will open a second YouTube channel and do trading tutorials. I don't want to do that on this channel here because I think this channel is really just talking about crypto and maybe doing some technical analysis. We're talking mainly about Cardano, but I think it doesn't really fit on this channel. But because there were so many questions about learning how to trade, I'm happy to share my learnings and knowledge about trading and chart analysis, but I'll do a separate channel for that. But I'll certainly let you know on this channel when that channel is open. I'll probably do it on the weekend and maybe even publish the first video, and then you guys can let me know if that works as a content or not. I would never short ADA, honestly. No, I wouldn't. No, don't short in a bull market. Don't think that will work. When will be your 5 years holding ADA? I started last year in January, and prices were really good back then, but it just shows what's possible in a sort of shorter period of time. So yeah, basically some 3.5 years, I think. But maybe I'm just gonna hold even longer. Yeah, I think I'm bullish on IOTA and Algo, even though IOTA didn't really kick off. I mean, IOTA, even though I think the project is really interesting, but it hasn't really received a lot of attention in this bull market for some reason. Yeah, I think I've seen that ADA is following Bitcoin at the moment on the chart. You can see that. It's just funny how this sometimes works out. Pretty much exactly. So maybe we can see the breakout in this video. And again, you can see probably like a triangle forming. And it's funny how that sometimes really works out. If we just connect the wicks together, you can see that triangle here. 1, 2, 1, 2 touches, 3 touches up here. And if that's how it works, then in the next 1 or 2 candles, so in the next couple of hours, there should be a breakout. There needs to be a stop of that sideways movement again, because they can't, normally you don't just trade through the apex. There's a move to the upside or the downside sort of imminent then. We can check the 30-minute chart for some more detail. I'm not sure if we Yeah, you can clearly see that. So that will be interesting in which way we go. I mean, this looks like a bullish pennant, so my guess would be rather to the upside, but without, seeing the actual breakout, it's really hard to say on these shorter time frames anyway. Wendy, yes, I've got 3 boys, 3 children, and 2 dogs. How much do earn staking on Yoroi? Well, if you stake on Yoroi on a exchange or on an exchange, if you stake on if you pick a stake pool on Yoroi, then it's around 4 to 5% normally. These are the sort of I think the maximum rewards you can get, maybe up to 5.5% per epoch. But on some, as I said, if you do I think you can stake with Melt, for example, and Ergo and Ray Network, they give you free tokens, I think, on top. The Cardano low in the bear market. I think it depends on how high we go this year. It's hard to say what the low will be. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, because with Cardano it's a bit difficult to look back, because with Cardano, I mean, last year we looked at like 5 cents, so those were nice prices. But if we go back here to maybe like the weekly, just to remind ourselves where we were with Bitcoin. And you can clearly see that we were top of the bull market 2017. We were here at around 20,000. In the bear market back then, we dropped down to 5,000. No, even like 3,000. So that was a drop of. From here down to here. Yeah, like 80% drop. So then we need to, if we say another 80% drop could happen, I don't think 80% will happen again because there are too many institutions involved, but just assume maybe like 70% could happen. But then we need to assume where will we land this year. So if we say we'll land somewhere at, I think we'll see us probably at around 120,000 this year. That's what I just think based on the stock to flow model. And then if we say from there, it could be dropping like 70%. I think we'll probably land somewhere at 35,000 with Bitcoin. And then we need to look at Cardano. So if we say, if Bitcoin maybe does it 2x. Ooh. Let's say we just land somewhere at 650. And we also drop like 70-80%. Where would we land? We would land at somewhere. Well, we would actually land below $2. Well, I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. I'm not sure, but it would be if you just take the same ratio. Interesting. So I don't know, but if we go back to $6-7, yeah, maybe we'll land at around $2 in the bear market, maybe even a little bit lower. Just catching up on some messages. VeChain. Again, 200 viewers. Thanks a lot all for joining me. So now the spammers come in. The hot girls chat. No, I just have to remove them and hide them. All right. And that's one more thing to say. Guys, on the channel, there are now scammers around. There was even someone who stole my logo and sent some messages. It's just ridiculous. Please I'll never ask you to send me a message anywhere on Telegram or on WhatsApp or anything. If I have social media, then you can find that on the channel page. But scammers in the crypto market everywhere. It's just crazy. Even on YouTube channels that have only like 5,000 subscribers, It's just crazy. So never fall for this, please. Never send any messages to any WhatsApp, or don't participate in any giveaways. Don't participate in any ADA giveaways as well. There are many live streams where apparently you get an ADA giveaway, but don't do that. Many people are sending their ADA to these addresses, but that's just scam. I'll just zoom in again in case something happens. And we go back to the 1 hour chart. So we can see something interesting happening here with Bitcoin. Price is currently going up. Is that the breakout? Maybe not, but we can see if that, we can see that that is, see, we're dropping off that level. So it is really that pattern that is currently forming. So we can see that that wick was touching that resistance level. And what's ADA doing? Not much. But we're just waiting what Bitcoin is doing. Yeah, I think 650 is, I think $5 is conservative. $4.50 to $5. That's what I've said from the beginning of this channel. I think $4.50 to $5. That's sort of realistic, I think. I think everything above $5 really depends on Bitcoin making like higher than $100,000 this year. So yes, Jacob, I will this weekend, I will create another YouTube channel and really do tutorials, because I don't think the tutorials work on this channel, but I want to do a separate one, and certainly you can subscribe to that channel, and then you can learn how to read charts. All-time high this weekend, what do you think? I don't know. It's so hard to say, but I think we will see an I believe we'll see a new all-time high before the 12th of September. Don't know if it's this weekend. Honestly, anything's possible here in crypto. You can even make that a bit longer. You see how that works out actually, really like a triangle pattern. That will be interesting how this is going to work out. I think Koko Ichiban, I think is your name. I think there will be a breakout. There will be one breakout, and you can clearly see that because we are in that triangle at the moment, and in the next hour or two we will break out, but I don't know which way. I would rather say up, because this is looks to me like a bullish pattern, but you never know until you see the breakout, and that's what normally when then traders would either do a short trade, or a long position. But it's hard to predict what's happening now. It looks very bullish today generally. So what could really be happening in the current optimism, that we go back into this white zone above this resistance level here, and I would really like that, because that could really bring us to the $3. Harsh says you've purchased ADA now. What, just now? What should you do for the short term? Don't know. It all depends. It all depends how long you want to hold. It all depends how much are you in profit? Are you not in profit? I personally, if it was me, if I had bought now and wanted, I would wait until we go up. And it might be a bumpy ride. We might also go down and then go up, but I would certainly, this is not the all-time high for Cardano. We will go higher, definitely. But I don't know if it will be this weekend or next weekend or maybe October. But as I said, I personally think we'll see the $3 broken certainly before the 12th of September. What I expect after the 12th is probably, it's hard to say. It's so hard to say. As I said, last time after the hard fork, we saw a drop, a price drop or sideways move. It's so hard to say. I think many people actually think that the price will slightly drop or go sideways, which actually then I think if many people think it goes one way, it oftentimes goes the other way. So I don't think it will go down. I think it will probably just be sideways or it will go up. It is so hard because in the crypto world, oftentimes it's like when the rumors come out, people are buying, and when then the news really happen, then when it's really actually happening, then the price normally goes down. But with Ethereum, the London hard fork was different. For example, we saw I think 2 or 3 weeks just prices just going up. So it's so hard to say. So yeah, guys, I think we've been here now for an hour. So I'm not sure, should we continue a little bit more or should we close the live stream? Because not much is happening now. I mean, we need to wait for that breakout, but that could be another 2 hours, and I won't stay in the live stream for another 2 hours. It's just too long. But we can see us still sort of climbing up here slowly. The bull is in control. We actually made another bullish crossover here today. That's only on the 1 hour chart here of the moving average, where the 20-day was crossing the 50-day. I'd actually like to see the 100-day as well. And on the other channel that I'm gonna create about trading or charts, I'm gonna explain all of that. Obviously, you know, sort of the moving averages that are important. And I know it can be so confusing in the beginning. So the purple one is the 100-day moving average. I'm going to change the color. We're above all moving averages on the hourly chart, and we're now in overbought territory on the RSI, but on the hourly chart, to be honest, that's not that meaningful. But it just shows we have a bullish momentum. So quick summary for anyone who's just joined, because I think I'm about to close the live stream. I think we just need to wait for, I think everything's said. We just need to wait for that breakout now. So we can see on both the Bitcoin chart, a bullish pennant, and also on the ADA chart, because we've got that pole here and now a triangle formation. It could also be a channel, but it doesn't really matter. Both are bullish patterns. We obviously need to wait if we break out to the upside or the downside, because you know nobody can predict, but I can only say that these normally work out bullish, so maybe like 60-70% of the time. The bulls seem to be in control. We now see a big green candle here actually, and oh, there's some momentum now. That's Bitcoin, and I think if we break out to the upside of that support, that resistance level, we are really on a bullish way, and then we could even go up more, because at the moment sort of indecisive. But I think if we really break that level here, we're back in the game. We're back in this channel here, in this white channel in which we've been trading. I think if we continue to stay below that channel, it wouldn't be a great sign. I think we need to get above this white line here, above this support level at 48,350 roughly, or 48,400 for Bitcoin. We need to get above that. I think then we are back in the game and could even go up to 52,000. Yeah, I think that would give us bullish momentum. And ADA as well, now in doing the same pattern as Bitcoin at the moment. I think in the next couple of hours or 3 hours, there will be a breakout. We can expect a breakout. but I can't say which way. I think it's rather probably to go to the upside, but there's no way of saying. We just need to see. And if you see a break to the upside, for example, that could then really take us to, well, first of all, next resistance level will be here, like the 295, where we already were. That's the all-time high, or 296 actually, or nearly actually 297. We can see that down here. So in that range here, 295 to 297, that's the next resistance level that we will then probably move to if we manage to break out of this triangle to the upside. If we go down, there will be support here, you know, at the probably like 280 level, because we had support here, and we also have the 100-day moving average pretty much here, so we wouldn't drop far, but it's just a bullish pattern, which makes me think, you know, hopefully it would be good for Bitcoin, it would be good for the whole crypto market if we manage to break into this white channel. And we can see that we are going up with the price currently, not broken yet, but we are, I think the pressure of the buyers is getting stronger. So yeah, I think I'm going to close it now. Bear in mind, if ADA breaks above 48, no, where are we? This is Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks above 48,400, we should really see a move to the upside, a boost to the upside, I think. That would be a breakout. And for ADA as well, we need to be above 292. Then we go to the next level, 295 to 297. And then that's the last hurdle we need to take before the $3. I think if we manage to break above the 295, which was the previous all-time high, or in that range, you know, between 295 297, if we manage to break above that, then we'll be above $3. That's what I think, because then there's not really, I think it's like the last level that we need to get through, and we're only like 2 or 3% away. So let's see, it's currently going up, not broken yet, but we're getting there. You can see that here now on Bitcoin, moving through that current level. It's quite good to watch now, so that'll be interesting if we actually see that climbing up, going through that triangle formation. Yeah, when I close that live stream, it might really be that we're already breaking out, but you can clearly see that something's happening here. Right, but you can watch that yourself now. I think I'm going to close the live stream. So let's all hope we are going to really break to the upside. It's currently looking likely. The bulls are strong, buyers are strong, and thanks for everybody who joined. Thanks as always for your comments. Of course, there'll be another update video tomorrow. Yeah, great community. Again, thanks a lot. Really amazed how quickly this channel has grown and is growing every day. Thanks for all your support. Really encouraging. And yeah, I can't thank you enough. Great community. Thanks a lot for watching and participating, and have a great Friday and great weekend. But we'll see each other in the next video. Bye.